All right, everyone, class is about to start. Take your seats. Welcome to UGC 101, the podcast about all things user-generated content.
Welcome back to the UGC 101 podcast. My name is Nate Flake. I'm your host. And today we have our first international guest. Super excited to chat with Leon. I'm going to let you introduce yourself here, Leon.
Yeah, thanks, Nate. Thanks for having me on. My name is Leon, socially Leon on my social handles. I'm a full-time UK UGC creator. I've been doing that now for 3.5 years, but only full-time in the last maybe 15 months.
Okay.
So yeah, loving life.
3.5 years in UGC time is that's like 20 years in corporate, man. I feel like you got on before it got a little bit crazy, right?
Yeah, but actually, Nate, what's funny is I didn't realize I was doing UGC until I was doing UGC. So I didn't look into this and start doing it. I started doing it by accident.
Oh, really? So how did you get your first paid gig? Did someone say like, hey, can you do one of those for me?
Yeah, so it's a funny story really because I got divorced. I had no money. I was doing food delivery side hustles. I was reselling on doing side hustles. I was doing package deliveries. I was doing bar work after my normal 9 to 5. I was so broke, and then I started talking about this journey on TikTok, and then all of a sudden I had these recruitment agencies in my inbox saying, "Do you mind shouting out my recruitment agency? We'll give you £50." And then another one come in saying, "Would you wear our sports top and we'll give you £60?" And I was a bit like, this is fantastic. Like, is there any money in this? And I didn't know what UGC was at that point, but I was doing it anyway. And then I started researching a little bit more and realized actually this has got legs.
Yeah. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll wear whatever you want for 60 pounds.
or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, I'm desperate. I got to do something. That's awesome. I feel like so that's kind of how you fell into it, huh? So you started researching and then eventually jumped on platforms and things like that from the beginning?
Yeah, no. So there's a girl called Claire on Video. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a female Australian content creator. I just accidentally came on her profile, and she started talking about UGC, and I was a bit like, I think that's what I'm doing for these recruitment agencies, and these gym wear companies and stuff. So yeah, I started looking into her videos a little bit more, and she taught me a lot through the videos she posts on Instagram, TikTok, and then when I found out what UGC was, I started watching the best content creators, the ones who have been around quite a few years now, and learning my craft. Yeah, it was something I'd never known, and yeah, I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you have a great knack for it. I've been following you for a while. Are you I guess my other question is, so you did this for like 2.5, almost 2.5 years before you decided to do it full time. How was that leap, and was that scary? Like, I love to hear people that make that full leap,
Yeah, really difficult, I think. I mean, I never dreamt in a million years that I could quit my 9 to 5 and actually do UGC as a full-time job, right? That was never even in my thinking. What I did think though was, this is great. I can finish my 9 to 5. I can film on an evening when I've not got my kids, and I can do it on a weekend when I don't have my kids on those weekends. So for me, it was keeping me busy. It was keeping me out of trouble, and I was earning money from my living room, right, in my kitchen. So I was doing something I started really enjoying. So it gradually it gradually became busier, I guess. And then as it became busier, I started thinking, hang on, this is nearly at the level that I'm getting from my 9 to 5 here. Like, if I quit my job, is this possible? I actually my job was so high pro, like it was quite a senior management role in a large supermarket in the UK, and it was quite stressful, Nate. Like, I was having like heart palpitations. I was having anxiety attacks because of the stress that was coming from a 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to go off sick for like 2 months because I was so stressed with the projects I was working on.
Wow.
And that's what accidentally got me into doing UGC full time, because when I wasn't doing that, I started ramping up the UGC, and then I just never went back to work after that, because I was earning the same amount of money I was earning from my 9 to 5 and more. So yeah, I was really lucky and really fortunate in that sense, because I think I never thought I'd be able to make the leap, right? And I was forced to do so because of my health.
Yeah, you basically called in sick and then never went back.
Exactly that.
How was that conversation? Was that crazy? Were they like, what do you mean you're going to be content? I mean, you probably didn't have that. Let's say, hey, I'm doing UGC, but you probably were a crazy conversation to have, if I can ask that.
Honestly, yeah, because people at work knew I did this, right? Like they used to follow my Instagram and TikTok and say, like, "Oh, look
Yeah.
at you! I saw an advert," and
Yeah.
they were only
That's the worst.
one-offs. Yeah, but like these guys almost made fun of it in some ways. They were,
100%. 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like they didn't believe there was any legs in it, or they were like, "Oh, that might only last a couple of months, and then the market moves quickly. It'll be something else
Yep.
soon."
Yep.
But if you start in UGC, you absolutely have to believe that you're doing the right thing, and not listen to the people who wouldn't dare get their face on camera. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so I think that was a big motivator for me.
Yeah. Yeah. When people, yeah, I'm the same way as you. I think when people tell me I can't do something, it like pisses me off, honestly. And I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah,
I'll show you, dude.
yeah.
Like, oh, there's no way you could do that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Not even that I wanted to before, but now just to spite you. I'm saying, like, that's kind of, I've got a bad trait that way. But
100%. But to be honest though, my boss was really supportive. Like I told her I was going to do content creation full time. Now I'm going to see what happens, and they were over the moon. They thought if you can do that, that's amazing. But I think definitely got a few raised eyebrows. Like, are you sure?
yeah. I think with people that don't know, it's actually like we're in this, right? So we think that, oh, everyone knows what UGC is and stuff. But I'll get like on TikTok Live, for example, so many people are like, what do you mean UGC? What does that mean? Like people in my,
Yeah.
my in real life, as they say, like friends and coworkers and stuff, same thing. Like, what is this UCG thing? They always mess up the acronym too.
Yeah.
And so I think it's hard for people to understand that, wait a minute, you're getting paid to make videos, so you're like an influencer. I'm like, yeah, but no, because I don't have to post any of these to my own social,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's actually funny too, not to like change subjects, but with everything going on with the economy and stuff right now, I've actually had a couple conversations with influencers lately, like in the last 60 days, that are like, hey, tell me about that UGC stuff, which is funny. I'm like, wait, you're coming to me for this? Like, you've got
Yes.
800,000 followers, And I think what's interesting is, if you're listening to this, again, I probably should have started with this, Leon, but like a lot of the people that listen to this podcast are newer creators or just getting into it, or like me, where I'm still in the grind where you were. I'm working full time and I do this on the side, right? They want to do it, but like, yeah, but is there, with everything going on, are people actually still spending? I would argue that they're spending more now because a lot of those influencer budgets are being pulled back right now.
Yeah.
People are holding on to their budget a little bit more. And so it's been interesting. I've had a couple conversations like, hey, I haven't, our brand deals are kind of drying up a little bit on the influencer side. Can you tell me about this UGC stuff? So what do you do? Like, how do you not have to post it? They can't like comprehend it.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing, Nate. Exact same thing. Only a few weeks ago, I've had two people who've got really, really large followings on TikTok coming to me to say, how do I get into this UGC stuff? Because I think what's happening is a lot of these social media platforms are almost pushing down the monetization for views. So they're not earning the living that they used to earn from views alone. And like you said, yeah, brands, they're moving towards a UGC and maybe EGC as well, like employee generated content.
Yeah. Oh, I never even heard of that. EGC. Okay. Which makes sense. They're making their employees create the content.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if you know about Curry's. It's a UK brand, but they're smashing it out of the park at the moment. If you watch any of their
No.
content, yeah, I mean, they do skits, right? And a lot of their staff are doing the skits for them, and every time they do a video, it goes viral pretty much because that's what people are doing. But
And it's called Curry's.
Curry's, yeah, it's like an electric store that sells like
Okay.
TVs,
I'm
laptops,
gonna
things
check
like
it
that.
out. They're on
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah, honestly, so good.
I was having a conversation the other day about Duolingo, right? And like they're like, I mean, EGC essentially brought them on the map during COVID with their owl and stuff. So it's actually pretty funny. I saw a video yesterday how everyone's mad that they're shifting to AI first now, and everyone's like, we built you guys up and now you're turning your back on us. It's pretty funny, but that's another
Yeah,
example of a company that like didn't go outsource their marketing, and they're just like, hey, let's throw an owl costume on this person and then like just make them go out and do skits and do funny stuff. And
yeah,
like it works. I think companies don't understand. And even in my 9 to 5 now, I work with partners, big tech partners, right? And they're like, well, that would be too big for us, or sorry, opposite. We're too big for that. Like that's not we have to do big commercials and like spend $50,000 on a weekend to get out to a site to do a case study. I don't think they realize that that's not it anymore. Like that's like when I see a super high production ad, immediately swiping,
100%. Yeah. That polished stuff doesn't work as well as it used to, surely.
Yeah, not even close. And I think it's interesting too, because my argument to those people, and I've said this to them, like, well, like there's multi-billion-dollar companies running UGC ads now. Yeah. Like I know that because I work with them. I see them on these platforms, like you see some of these huge companies. I'm like, okay, so these guys are doing UGC, which honestly, I know we had the conversation before we started about like the current economic situation and how that's going to impact UGC as a whole. But I think like, if anything, these larger companies now are like tightening their belts a little bit. And I think UGC is you're going to see the trickle effects of like, hey, these huge companies used to do these massive budget commercials, and now they're going to have to spend that ad spend on people like us, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think almost on the flip side coin of that as well, Nate, you've got companies that are bringing out maybe white label supplements that are startup companies, right? Making millions of pounds because they're just getting viral TikTok videos from normal people like maybe me who does TikTok Shop or UGC. These companies are blowing up just through UGC alone.
Yeah. Did you start doing TikTok Shop before UGC, or was it the opposite?
Yeah, the opposite. TikTok Shop is only something I've really taken seriously since maybe November last year.
Okay. Got it.
But yeah, I've definitely seen the fruits of that now, and I won't be stopping.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a good correlation between people in like the community that I come across that started with TikTok Shop versus that didn't. Just because, TikTok Shop videos are a form of UGC, right? It's user generating the content. But the difference is, right, you're posting it on your own account. But I think the people that started with TikTok Shop that get into UGC and have that transition, which is actually how I started. Yeah. It's like a really natural step for them, right? So if you're listening to this and you do TikTok Shop videos, you're already 90% of the way there. You're already 100%. You're already making content with, the only difference it'd be a company giving you the script, the exact script and shot list versus you having to do the worst part, which is trying to come up with viral videos every time,
100%. I'd say probably 90% of the people who've bought my guide are through TikTok Shop affiliate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's a natural transition, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to dive in, Leon, about like so when you very first got started, what was like your biggest challenge of making content?
Yeah, honestly, I think when I first started, I thought that I had to be this aesthetic looking home, and you had to have everything looking absolutely on point. Almost like when you see like maybe influencers doing stuff on social media or actual commercials that are quite high res. I think that was the biggest challenge for me, understanding actually this is user generated content and things don't have to look perfect, right? You just need to look like the regular guy that they've recruited. The reason they've got a 37-year-old man is because they want your home to look like a 37-year-old man's with children that live in it because you've got small children. So I think it's just got to be as organic as possible. And I struggled with that a little bit because I was renting somewhere and I was new in there. I didn't have much kind of furniture. My kitchen was quite an old style kitchen, so I didn't feel like I could do any kitchen related content. So I think it's just pushing through that. I guess not comparing yourself to what you're seeing on the Instagram. The perfect reels that you see for some of these products. I understand some of these people want perfect kitchens and stuff like that, but on the whole, I think keeping it real is probably the hardest thing to do because you feel like you're measuring up to everybody else.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. Right. Not like they're hiring UGC it performs because it's raw and it's authentic.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason that you see a ton of videos. I mean, I had one yesterday. I had to go. I like a spot. I go park and there's a certain parking lot that has like really good lighting with the trees. Like there's a reason you see a ton of videos in the car. Right. It's because it's like immediate, like intimate setting. a lot of times the freaking back of the car is like messy, and companies like they actually like that because it shows like, oh, this is a real dad, like you said. Like that's funny. I'm 37 too, so I've got you there. But yeah, I think that's super. I don't even know. It's like you're almost feeling like vulnerable, like, oh, someone's gonna judge me and be like, oh, your house sucks, or like,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
who cares? A, I don't care because I got paid for that video. Like, B, like, you know, this is my circumstance right now. This is what my kitchen looks like right now. Like, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. That's what, yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. People don't talk about a lot is feeling like inadequate when you first start, because you're like, I know I'm not an influencer, but I don't want to film in this kitchen. Like, these cabinets are outdated, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I think it's just pushing through that doubt because you doubt yourself, right? I mean, when I very first started, I didn't really think there was legs in it, so I wasn't that bothered. But then as I started taking it a little bit more seriously, I was a bit like, yeah, things need to look right, things need to look nice, and yeah, I think I fell down that trap maybe for 6 months of doing UGC, just trying to get the settings right and everything had to look perfect. But yeah, nonsense. I done a great ad for a banking, like a Monzo, which is the UK bank, recently, and they wanted that, toys everywhere and sitting on teddies and spilling drinks all over, and like kids making a mess, right? Because that's what they were.
That's cool.
That's what they were targeting. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want a perfect, like, clean living room with kids in the back, because they're like, no one's house looks like that, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And people can't relate to that, right? And if you can't relate to it, you're not going to want to buy into that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why, you're seeing a lot of even influencer marketing and stuff where it's like, real people, even like street interviews for me, are being super popular right now.
Yeah.
Just catching people off guard and getting authentic reactions.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, if you're listening to this and you're a newbie, like we all start as, I think it's pretty normal to feel like, oh, my kitchen's not clean, or I mean, for me, for a long time, even literally yesterday, and I have to film some scripts today for this company. It's like a workout app, right? And I've seen you, Leon, getting after it. I'm not in shape, dude. I'm not in shape at all. And like, they wanted me to do this whole freaking chair workout video with my shirt off. And I'm like, there's no freaking chance I'm doing it, bro. Like, there's no chance. And I'm like, I'll do it with my shirt on. They're like, you're gonna have to find someone else if you want my shirt off, because I'm like, I've seen the videos you've sent me. I do not look like any of those guys.
Oh yeah.
And I thought I lost the deal, and they're like, okay, cool, yeah, put a shirt on. I'm like, okay, sweet, dude. I think there's one scene where there's one scene I got to film today where I have to have my shirt off, but it's like a quick flex. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do about 1,000 push-ups before I do that picture.
It's difficult, that though, Nick. I did one last week for it was like a tanning accelerator, and they wanted shirt off as well, and they wanted me to be putting this cream all over my body and stuff. And I'm quite a lean person, right? Quite skinny. And when they sent the example videos over in the actual concept, like, you should have seen these guys, right, who'd done videos before me. They were ripped. There were six packs everywhere, and I'm rubbing it into my pot belly that I've got. So yeah, I just went with it, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, it's funny too, because like, it's interesting to get both sides of it, right? Because you're worried because you're like, oh, I look too skinny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I look too fat. Like, so it just goes to show you nobody's happy about where they're at, So, but companies need all shapes and sizes too. That's another thing that I have. People that just don't believe it. Like, I tell them, you have your guide and you have your community and you have a quite a big following too. I'm sure you get messages every single day that's like, hey, I would love to do this, but I'm like, I'm not a good looking person. I'm no model. You're like, dude, you don't like that actually will help you. You like, the older you are and like the more regular you look, you're in, dude, Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally agree.
I think people get a little self-conscious about that. So I want to kind of dive into some more questions. I want to pick your brain, because that's what this episode's about. Just giving, this podcast is about, just giving kind of some free tidbits from people and kind of giving back to the community a little bit. So besides the aesthetic thing, what are some quick lessons you learned, like right when you got started, that you wish you would have known sooner, or maybe they took you too long to realize?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize how important personal branding was, right? So I think I was a bit lazy well, not lazy, probably just unknowingly didn't realize how important it was. I was just hoping that deals would just land into Fiverr, right? Or they would land through the in my inbox, in my emails, or through certain platforms as well, and I'd actively apply for them. What I didn't realize is actually posting about UGC, talking about UGC across all platforms, and just making sure that that content is suitable for the same platform, right? I mean, I repurpose all of my content, just making sure that it's fit for each platform. So if I'm going to put something on Instagram, right, it will be Instagram worthy, but then I'll also maybe do a little write up on LinkedIn, but post the same video. So I think it's just I think it's just about making sure that you're posting about UGC and not just hoping that UGC will find you. So yeah, I think the more I did that, Nate, the more I realized actually these people find you through SEO on different platforms. X is fantastic for that. LinkedIn more recently has been fantastic for me.
I was going to ask you. You said LinkedIn. I'm like, really?
Yeah, because I mean, I posted something today around my. It was something that converted really well with an energy drink that I did recently, and luckily they gave me all the stats. And it looks really well written, Nate, right? It looks like I understand all of the metrics and I understand all of the stats. I mean, I absolutely don't. I don't have a clue, if I'm completely honest. But what I did do is I got the stats from the brand, I put them into ChatGPT, and I just said to ChatGPT, look, can you do me a write-up on LinkedIn with I sent a picture and said, break down the stats, tell me what that industry norm is, does this ad convert? And it came back with a fantastic post, and I posted that today. And people are like, wow, how do you do that? And I was like,
this guy, yeah.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah. And so you did a static image. You didn't even post a video.
Static image of the results, yeah, but actually spoke about the results and, how that ad converted. But I didn't understand what the metrics were because I don't work in that field, right? I just make the content and the brand understand all that.
Yeah. We're not like expert marketers, right? I mean, I know what a click-through rate is, but besides that, like that's where my knowledge ends,
Yeah, I thought my top ad performed really poorly because the hook rate was quite low, but actually the ad converted really well regardless. So people talk about the importance of a hook. Actually, sometimes that doesn't always matter. So it was interesting to see the least. Yeah, you'll have to have a look.
Yeah. I'll go follow you on LinkedIn. I'm just, like I said, I'm still a corporate warrior. I'm at my 9 to 5. I'm trying to get on your level and eventually do this full time. But LinkedIn is like something that I wouldn't think for UGC. Like you're like UGC creator as your title in there and everything, or how did you end up moving that from your corporate life?
Well, I split the two. Yeah, so when I was in my 9-5, Nate, I created a new LinkedIn for UGC only.
So smart.
But yeah, I didn't want to mix the two, I guess. So yeah, it looks a bit strange.
So after you left corporate life, what did you do with the old one?
So it's still there. I just don't post on it as much. The only thing I do put on there, I have got like another role that I have. I'm like the chair of a lived experience panel for gambling related harm.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I mostly post about that if I'm going to post on that one.
So you're like, okay, I sit on the chair on this thing. I can't do mixing and matching. No, that's super interesting. And the reason I wanted to ask too is because LinkedIn, especially, which is weird. You think about UGC, LinkedIn's the last platform in the world I would think about, right? But they've been like super ramping up their video features and video functionality. And there's some people I know that are like, because I used to actually do a lot of videos on LinkedIn for my corporate job. I've done podcasting forever, and so I think that's probably how the natural UGC thing ended up happening. But there's people that are making like great money just from the analytics and like just from the views and stuff on LinkedIn that are getting paid like ad revenue.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to look into that.
100%. Like probably more so. I think what you just said, the video features massively ramped up, and it's almost like Reels now on LinkedIn. But yeah, I've had like 3 inbounds in the last 3 weeks from LinkedIn. So that's amazing. Like I never used to get that much. Yeah, really good.
I'm wondering if that's interesting. Again, I'm still got the whole golden handcuffs a little bit, but I need to figure that out at some point because I think a lot of us that are doing this, like I'm in the same boat you were. We're like, okay, like I'm turning away some jobs. I'm too busy, but yeah, but anyways, at some point I'm gonna have to make that decision. But that's super interesting on the LinkedIn side. So if you're listening to this and you're not using LinkedIn, get after it. After it.
For sure.
So one of the questions I love to ask is like, what's the coolest product you've ever gotten? Right? Like we don't do this for the products, although it's just a nice, some stuff I get I don't ever use again and I donate after 2 months. But what's the coolest product you've ever gotten?
The coolest product I've got, and do you know it's difficult? It's probably a split. The actual physical product I've got is it's a Ninja Woodfire grill. It's like a barbecue, right? But it's worth like
Dang.
£400-500 or something. So they
Wow.
sent me that and like, yeah, you can keep that. And honestly, it's the best piece of it's the best toy that any grown man can ever have. Like honestly, I had a
Ninja, like
barbecue.
the same brand as the blender?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
Ninja, yeah, Ninja Woodfire. I couldn't believe the collaboration. I mean, it's funny though, Dave, because I mean, I did the collab and the footage was great because I made a full English breakfast on there and it looked fantastic and all sorts. But they didn't let me edit it, and then when I saw the edited version, I was very disappointed. They put a
Not
lot of
happy.
weird sound effects and voices on there that weren't me, and it was just it was a real shame. But yeah, that
Oh,
was
dude,
really
I hate when
cool.
that happens.
Yeah, no, I've still got it and I love it. But I did a bungee jump as well for an Experience Days company.
No way. You had to go bungee jumping?
Yeah, I did a bungee jump off a bridge, and I swear I was. I mean, I'm scared of heights, right? I'm a wimp when it comes to anything like that, and yeah, that pushed my limits. But I thought, listen, I'm not going to do this off my own back ever, so I might as well take the opportunity to get paid for
Yeah.
it
Because
and
it's
do it.
expensive, isn't it? Isn't it like
Yeah,
pretty
it's like
expensive to go bungee jumping?
a couple of £100, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Damn, dude. Where did you go? What bridge did you go on? I don't even ask you what part of the UK you're in. I'm just American.
Yes,
I'm like, you're just in the UK somewhere.
well, yeah, it's all one place, isn't it? So I'm in Yorkshire, which is like north of England.
Okay.
I did it in a place called Whitby, which is like a viaduct bridge, but it was quite high up, and like
Dang, dude.
I can't even tell you, Nate, the noises I was making were not okay for video.
They muted you. They did a voiceover, so they had someone
Honestly,
else's voice. Dude,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy. So did they throw like a GoPro on you and have you film or like Insta 360 or something?
Well, the filming was all down to me. Yeah, so there was nobody there like helping me
Oh,
apart.
they
I mean,
didn't send you. They sent you by yourself,
well,
and they
yeah.
said,
So
"Go do this."
I
Holy
brought
hell!
honestly, Nate, I brought my 15-year-old daughter so she could film from one angle when I was at the top, and I brought my partner who also filmed from the bottom. So I've got two different angles. So yeah, I was using the footage from what my daughter did and what my partner did at the bottom.
Jeez, and you didn't have to have any like POV of like you. Oh, dang, that's wild.
No, I
I
wouldn't.
was gonna say I'd be stressed at like trying to like get my face and stuff while I'm filming, while I'm jumping.
Honestly, yeah,
I don't
it
think
was
I
it
could
was
ever do
terrifying.
bungee jumping, dude. That's crazy. I've done skydiving and I've done it once. My 13-year-old daughter just yesterday, she said, "Hey, when I'm 16, can we go skydiving?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you have to wait till you're 18, dude." But like, I mean, maybe I'll do it one more time. I feel like I
Wow, yeah.
cheated death once. I don't know why I want to do it again.
No, no, no. But yeah, I'd never do it again either because it definitely took years off my life.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say bungee jumping's freaking crazy. That's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've never done an experience. I've heard of people that have done, like nothing like that. That's the craziest UGC product I think I've ever heard. But I've heard of people that have like done local companies. They'll do like a spa or something. I haven't worked with any local companies yet. I've been too scared to approach them, honestly. Um,
yeah.
but
Should
dude,
do.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. Do you do a lot of local stuff too?
No, not local, but definitely in-person filming. So I've actually got another inbound today to go to a car showroom and do like the whole kind of mic'd up high production piece on set. So to like talk about the
Wow,
EV
dude.
cars and EV chargers. I did it once before and it was terrifying because I rely heavily on a teleprompter. Like I really, really do. Nate. I can't remember
Yeah, I do
anything.
too.
But there was no teleprompters for this one, and I had to do 5 videos. I had to remember the scripts, and let me tell you, I was there for hours
And
reshooting it.
you're in front of people.
Yeah, there was customers walking around and stuff. Yeah, it was high pressured. But you know, when the ads came out, they looked fantastic because they were high res. But they want me to go back and do another one. But luckily this time it's going to be like sort of green screened and just silent B-roll, so that there's no scripts to remember.
Oh, that's super nice. Same
Yeah,
same company though. That's so awesome. How'd they
yeah.
find you?
Just an inbound, yeah. I think just from posting on
Wow.
social media,
Yeah.
personal branding. Yeah,
That's why it's super important to put your location in your bios and stuff, right?
100%. Yeah, it's a local car showroom.
Yeah, I think people like kind of going back to your personal branding. I think people don't realize, like in my community, especially, that's one of the first questions I get is like, because part of the sorry to backtrack, as part of the allure of UGC is like, you don't have to post anything on your own accounts, right? You can
Yeah,
be Joe Schmo, the butcher, and it doesn't matter, like because you're not going to post anything on your social, which is true. If you don't want to post any of these videos on your own social media, you definitely do not have to. you can get on Fiverr, you can get on Upwork, you can get on all these millions of different platforms for
Yeah.
UGC now that are out there, and you'll never have to post. But if you want to like really level up and start making great money doing this, you're going to have to at some point bite the bullet and personal brand, like you said, dude, because you're not going to get inbounds any other way. And I actually recognize that, like when I put my email in my bio and Instagram and on TikTok, I don't have as many followers as you do, but like even still, I was like, dude, you'd actually be surprised at how many people reach out.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw your email on Instagram. You're like, oh, okay. I don't have even 1,000 followers on Instagram, but that's cool, you know?
Yeah, I think one of the best things I ever did, Nate, was understanding where my traffic is coming from in terms of inbound. So I moved my platform, my portfolio from Canva because it doesn't give you hardly any analytics. It was not very good for that. But now I've moved to something called Wix, and actually it tells me, it'll say like 25% of people have come from X, 60% have come from TikTok. So yeah, you get that breakdown, and for me that helps because I can see like what the winners are and where I maybe need to improve on the posting a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a freaking good point, dude. I think I have mine on Canva. I need to move mine off. I think it's like a custom domain, but it still is from Canva, which means the traffic tracking is not great.
There's not much analytics on Canva, Nate, or SEO. You won't get found on Google through Canva.
Okay, that's a good point. If you guys listen to this, we love Canva for other things, but
Yeah.
not for portfolios. I need to, again, I'm picking your brain. This is questions that I feel like a lot of people would ask. Did you make your own portfolio? Did you have help? Did you hire help?
I did my own when it was Canva, and I didn't, first starting out, I got the free domain and all of that sort of stuff. As I started leveling up and started thinking about it as a real business, I wanted to move away to get the analytics that I've just mentioned. But I hired somebody on Fiverr actually to create my website. I just gave them a vision of what I wanted, and said I just want all this really cool stuff where, like, when you scroll in, you can get to the top to the bottom really quickly. You can get to my shop because I wanted to sell the guide on my website. You can't do that through Canva either.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of functionality that I needed on the new website that I didn't have a clue how to do it. So yeah, found a girl on Fiverr who does it. She still does it now. Sometimes I'll tweak it, and I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So she will do all that.
It's hard to, once someone builds something, it's like, hey, they know how to open the walls, and you're like, I'm not doing that. There's no way.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
I need to send me her contact if you can.
Yeah, for sure.
Send me you can actually go through Fiverr now, and you can do like a referral, and you'll get a cutback, which is sweet. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
so like, just a little side note. So on Fiverr, they launched this 2 days ago. Like if someone's messaging you on Fiverr to buy from you and you're like, hey, that budget's way too low, there's no chance. If you have someone in your community or in your guide that you think would be good for it, you have to do it on the computer. You can't do it on the phone app. There's a little picture of like a person down by where it says create offer. You click it and you can refer it out, and then you'll get 3% back to use for like ads and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. You don't get cash back, but it's like it'll go towards like ad or spend, or if you're like, Fiverr Premium or whatever, Fiverr Plus, it'll go towards that. So
that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, literally just launched like 2 days ago.
Right.
Awesome. Well, a couple other questions I wanted to ask you. I appreciate your time so far. What's the number one piece of advice? Because now that you've been doing this for almost 4 years and a year and a half on like full blown, what's one piece of advice you wish someone would have given you early on besides like the personal branding, like something you had to learn the hard way?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Usage, Nate. So I didn't charge usage when probably for the first maybe year and a half of doing UGC. I didn't really care how long brands used the ads for, I guess.
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand how important it was. And I got burned through that actually. So maybe I think it was maybe a year and a half after I give this, basically on Fiverr, a really large food delivery service paid like maybe $200 for one UGC ad, unlimited usage.
Yeah,
that ad still runs today, Nate. That's 3.5 years ago, right? So that's cost me
converting like crazy, probably too.
Yeah, and do you know what? And it's stuck with me as well. So if I have any paid ads out there, people will always comment say, "No, it's the Just Eat guy." It's like I've found some fame through this ad, but actually, it's been detrimental to me as well because I can't work with any competitors anymore. They've seen that ad, right? They don't want to work with me. They'll ask me if I've got any ads running through one delivery food company, I'll say, yeah, I have. They'll say, yeah, sorry, we
Oh,
can't
no
work with
way.
you. So if I'd have been charging usage for that, right, for 3.5 years, I'd be raking
At
it
least
in.
it's worth your time. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I've ended up doing instead is not charging usage. That $200 from 3.5 years ago is still running, and I'm losing new work as a result of not charging usage.
Oh, dude, that's wild.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
So
good point. I actually never really thought about it that way. I for some videos, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, you can run it, because in my head, I'm like, what ad is going to still be performing 6 months later?
yeah, yeah.
But like, that's a great point, dude.
It's happened twice, isn't it? Yeah, it happened with quite a famous like protein company as well. They'd seen one of my ads and they'd said, "Yeah, sorry, we can't move forward with it because it's still running." So
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
yeah. So you
that's brutal. Okay, that's a
charge
good.
usage.
I'm gonna go change all my usage stuff, because I'm usually like pretty lazy about that. Again, like I'm in a position now where I'm like, if I was doing this full time, I'd probably need to think about a lot of these things where I'm like, oh, this is a side hustle. Like, it's just, but
I
now I'm
think
like getting to the point where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not setting myself up for success later, you know?
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I always throw 6 months usage in for free, right? I'll do that for free all the time,
Yeah.
if it's especially for a new client. But yeah, I think if you, yeah, it worries me that somebody can just run an ad forever, and that's what
Yeah.
it seems this company are doing, and obviously it's performing really well. So yeah, I just think longer term thinking, usage is key.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't know how to figure out what usage, like what to charge for usage rights to. I think a good rule of thumb, and I'm not going to ask you what you charge, but a good rule of thumb is like 25 to 30% of the original price, right? And so if you charge $100 for the video and they get 3 months usage and they're like, okay, we want to run it for 6 months. Cool. It's going to be $30 to $35 a month for the next 3 months after that. I think that's a
Yeah,
pretty good rule of thumb. I think
25%. That's what I do. Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of people will get a little hung up on the logistics of things. And like you mentioned earlier, dude, I use ChatGPT for everything. If you're not sure about something and you don't know someone like Leon or myself that like can help you with questions, freaking ask ChatGPT, man. It knows more than we do by a billion, you know. Like, it'll
100%.
help you out. And so even like in scripting or in like writing contracts, or even like if you get a contract, you're like, because a lot of unfortunately part of the game too is there's a lot of scammers out there on the UGC
Yes.
side, specifically on like Fiverr. I wish they'd work on that. It's Fiverr, if you're listening to this, they haven't reached out about sponsoring, so maybe they're not listening to this. But like, figure that out, dude. I'm so sick of the spammers. Like,
Same.
there's so many people that spam or scam. And so like having ChatGPT run a contract and say, hey, is there any red flags in here? And then just upload it, and it takes 2 seconds. It's super useful.
So good. Yeah, so good. I use it same for you. Absolutely everything.
Yeah. What is something that you wish that what was the question I was just going to ask? Sorry, so you said like these are some things I wish I would have done sooner, right? What are some things you did right that you're super happy you did? Sounds like usage rights is something that you wish you would have changed and now you changed. What are some things you wish that you've done correctly that you've kind of passed on to your community?
Yeah, I think constantly refreshing your bank of B-roll is really important. Like I think in the beginning I was very much using the same clip of me running probably for every single video that I that
Yeah,
I had.
then you mirror it, right? And it's a different clip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's super key to have a bit of respect for your clients and actually start getting some fresh B-roll in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll sometimes spend maybe one day every 2 weeks and just get a load of different clips running in different locations and different shots of me drinking coffee and all the usual stuff that you get asked to do. I'll
Yeah.
try and refresh that every couple or to a few weeks because it feels a bit naughty sometimes if you're constantly recycling the same types of
The
B-roll.
same clip. That's super smart. So if you don't know what he's talking about, banking B-roll, like you're going to get companies that ask you. So B-roll obviously is just the shots behind the voiceover, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to get companies that ask for, especially once you've been on this for a few months, you're going to get the same requests all the time, right? So my thing is, especially if it, like to your point, right? If you're having to drive somewhere to find a pretty trail to run on or something, like you already made the effort to drive your butt there, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well take 10 other quick 15-second shots. So
Yeah.
and that'll save you from having to do it like this muscle app I was telling you about that I'm doing right now. I have to go like trail running today and get a shot of like me running up to a camera. I'm like, okay, I don't work out clearly. So like, I don't throw on my shorts to go do this all the time. So I'm going to take maybe 5-10 quick shots while I'm there. You know, it's during you know, why the weather's good, like all that kind of stuff. All the conditions are right. So why you've made the effort to get to the place you're going to take shots, you might as well. Or to your point, like if you're drinking coffee in public, like, I hate freaking shooting in public, but like, hey, I'm already there. I'm already ripping this Band-Aid off. Let's get 5 more quick shots.
Honestly, Nate, I'll take maybe 3 or 4 different t-shirts. I'll just change, right? I'll do one run, I'll film it, I'll change t-shirt, I'll do another run, and it's
Oh, that's so smart.
yeah, because otherwise it can almost look like the same clip. But yeah, just stuff like that, really. I think that's stuff I've learned along the way.
Yeah, just time savers.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to, like, we've all had difficult clients, right? What are your best tips for dealing with difficult clients? Either on like the revision side where people don't say, you know, that happens to me all the time where a company won't give me their instructions or they'll give me a brief and I'll follow it to a T and they're like, yeah, we don't like how it turned out. Can you do this other script? Like, how do you handle stuff like that?
Yeah, that's really difficult, isn't it? There's one that I did more recently, and it was only last week actually, Nate. And I'd like to think I'm quite a seasoned UGC creator now, and my list of revisions usually isn't that long anymore.
Yeah.
But wow, like I did a video last week. It was a minute long, right? Which is a long UGC video anyway. The feedback I got was incredible. It was like a 3.5 minute voice note that I got for the feedback.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much wanted me to reshoot the whole thing, right? And that was really difficult for me because I've not had that much feedback before. The product that I got was like a ghee. It was like an Indian butter. I'd had it outside like I was meant to, in the open and not in the fridge. And they were saying, no, the texture's not right. And I was like, but I've just had it out like you've asked me to do. Then they were asking me to manipulate the way the product looked, and I just wasn't comfortable with it. Nate, because right, if this is going to be on UK shelves, people aren't going to want to put it in some boiling water to make the texture look great. If I've got the product
crazy.
and I've stored it the way you've asked me to store it, then surely I should just be marketing it the way it should be marketed, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it was really difficult. I had to go back and say, look, I'm happy to do maybe 3 or 4 of these points, but some of this stuff you're asking me to do is a reshoot, and reshoot costs money. Revisions don't cost anything, right? I'll let you do 2 revisions usually maximum.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me to completely reshoot something and you've not given me some clear direction on what you wanted and you've given me creative freedom, you can't ask me for a reshoot without paying me for that.
Yeah. How'd they handle
it? Well, actually, because I mean, normally I'll do everything I can for a client, 99.9% of the time. But this client, yeah, they were really difficult. I just said, look, I'm happy to do maybe 3 of these changes, but the 4 and 5, that's just not okay. I've got quite a strong dialect, right, from where I'm from in the UK. It can be difficult to understand me sometimes. They asked me to speak slower to refilm it all. It was already a minute long.
You're like,
so
it's
like,
going to be 3 minutes longer.
Yeah, I was like, that's just not something I'm going to do. Like that video, it's a minute long. I cannot speak any slower than that. And if I do, it won't be authentic. I'll sound like a robot. And yeah, so we met some middle ground on that. And it was through an agency actually, and they were kind of the middleman. But he was great, yeah, in the end. He just said, look, just make a couple of those changes. We'll be happy with that. And we'll see how we get on. So yeah, I think you've just got to stand by what you know, because I think one of 2 things can happen. You can take it really personally and say, well, what are you talking about? My work is brilliant. Like, how dare you question my work? Or you can, take it on the chin and make some reasonable changes. But yeah, sometimes these brands, they will take the mickey a little bit. They'll push it. You've just got to stand firm, right?
Yeah. I think it's like you've said it perfectly, not taking it personally. I get freaking pissed, dude. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean I did it wrong? Especially when they give me creative freedom. I think it's also super helpful to understand from the client's perspective. Like they're going just how you're trying to get as many dollars as you can or pounds in your case, right, out of the client. They're going to push as far as you let them push. Yeah. Early Nate, freaking 18 months ago, Nate would have been like, reshoot, yes, sir. Anything you would like. Oh, you want me to make it look fake? I'll do that. Whatever you, because I was trying to like build a portfolio. I was trying to get whatever I could because I was new. And I think I've kind of like grown a backbone a little bit. Not as good. Like I've got some friends that do this that are way better at like negotiating than me and way better at like pushing back. I'm a sucker. I'm a people pleaser a little bit. And so not a little bit, I'm a bit a freaking people pleaser. So I'll always be like way overly nice and stuff like that. But I think you got to understand, like, they're just seeing, like, this company for you in this case, they're just saying what they can get for free out of you, right?
Yeah.
Because some creators may be like, oh, redo the whole thing, and they're like, cool. But if you push back, then okay, we're gonna have to meet in the middle somewhere. Knowing that everything in UGC is a negotiation, which is something I was not even close to prepared for when getting into this industry.
Yeah, and I think when you first start out and maybe you're not quite full time yet, sometimes you can be worried that you're going to damage your relationship with that brand or with that agency, but you just have to, you have to be able to stand your ground a little bit and say no sometimes.
Yeah, I think standing your ground is super important. How as far as companies you've worked with, what do you recommend when having a difficult client? Like, have you ever had to fire a client where you're like, hey, I'm done, I'm never working with you again?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, and it was similar reasons, I guess. They were asking for the world and not willing to pay for the world. Really, there was a brand I really wanted to work with as well, so it was unfortunate. But I'd done the shoot. I'd done it well, I thought, to the script, the B-roll, and everything else. Some small revisions came back. I was like, that's fine, absolutely. Yep, did those small revisions, sent them back. This was on a well-known platform as well, which is really difficult to upload the videos into different aspect ratios. So it was already like, it was a real fiddle on, having to upload them into 916 and Square as well, putting music on and then putting them without music on, raw versions, edited versions.
So many versions.
Yeah, so like the even the process of doing that admin was taking quite a long time. So I did the small revisions, uploaded them all again, and then the client came back and said, actually, we don't like these hooks. Can we change the hooks? And I was like, no. You can, right? But you'll have to pay for those because those are the hooks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you're the ones that gave me the hooks, guys. If you don't like it, then that's on you. That's not on me.
100%, yeah. And again, I think it's just about knowing your worth. And, that 12 months ago, 18 months ago, like you said, Nate, I'd have definitely been like, yeah, sure, yeah, like I'll do an extra extra 5 hooks if you want. You can have them all for free.
Yeah, not being afraid to walk away from a client is like the last 6 months I've really gotten better at, right? And I think like anything else, like I don't know, unless you're listening to this and you're a creator, like, dude, I don't really care to improve. I feel like most of us want to improve whatever we're doing and have some pride in what we do.
Yeah.
And so like that's something I've tried to really be good at, is like not being afraid to walk away from either smaller budget deals, because again, everyone's trying to make money out here, which I respect. Like, clients are trying to make money, we're trying to make money, but not being like, it's okay to walk away from one, even if it's a high paying, but you don't either agree with it or you don't want to like the butter example, right? It's perfect. Like, I'm not gonna show this in a way that's not honest, that's why I try to stay away from like financial companies and stuff like that, because I'm like, dude, I don't want to be the reason some dude loses his house because he sees 100%. An ad of me and like invests in this sketchy thing, and then and I'm feeling bad. So I try to stay away from industries like that. I mean, there's a lot of above board, obviously, financial services and things, but
yeah, but it's so tempting, Nate. Like, I've got absolute non-negotiables as a UGC creator. Just through my own morals, I wouldn't suggest anybody else follows what I do. But for me, like gambling, crypto, debt solutions, and anything where anybody is asking me to pretend to be a medical professional, I'm out.
The lab coat, they're like, hey, can you throw a lab coat on? I do a lot of supplements, surprisingly, but not. I like will make sure there's no claims in them, right?
Yeah,
like,
same.
I'm sleeping so much better. Like, that kind of stuff's fine, but to be like, this cured my diabetes, like, I'm not going to say that,
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and likewise, TikTok won't allow that either. They'll let you talk about your experience with that product, but they won't let you make some wild medical claims.
Yeah, that's what's nice about TikTok, is it has some guardrails around that, but these UGC ads don't. It's like, dude, it's kind of the Wild West out there,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my hair has never grown back from any of these companies that I've used.
I know. I had this company reached out. Funny you bring that up. This company reached out that wanted me to do this like baseball. It like looks like a baseball hat that's like red light growth therapy.
Yeah, I've used it.
Dude, I've been bald for 15 years. Like, nothing's bringing this back. Like, well, like, can you just like do it, and then we'll like they basically wanted to Photoshop growth onto my head, and I'm like, bro, there's no way. A, B, I probably look crazy with hair now. And it was funny. I'm like, dude, you gotta be careful. I think everyone, that's one thing that took me by surprise being a UGC creator at how much of this stuff is just completely made up. Like even on Amazon, dude, like
Yeah.
when I first started on Fiverr, I had so many Amazon companies reach out. Hey, we're going to send you a product. We just need you to write. They'd literally copy and paste the review they wanted me to post, and I'm like, this is wild. So now I'm realizing like I'm in the Truman Show, like, wait, all these are just fake,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Can't believe anything you read,
No, not always.
That's what I've learned. Well, I appreciate you. The last question I have is, where can we find? I know you mentioned it earlier. Where can we find you on socials? I'm going to put it in the show notes, and then you mentioned a guide. I'm going to grab that link from you and also put that in the show notes. Can you just talk about your guide briefly about like what it is, who, if you're listening, how to get in contact with you besides going to the show notes, things like that?
Yeah, sure. So all my socials is at Socially Leon. That's across absolutely everything. The guidebook is for absolute beginners, right? So I've written this from my experience of doing UGC without knowing what UGC was. So all of the things that I wish that I knew when I first started in terms of how to script, how to find work, how to maybe send emails to clients, what kind of apps and software that I use that can help me, improve my UGC, all of that sort of stuff. Really, it's basically like a toolbox, if you like, a guidebook just to get you on your way, right? So if you're an experienced UGC creator, it's probably not for you. But if you're an absolute beginner and you want to knock on that door, it'll give you everything you need.
Love it. Yeah, I think that's crucial, right? Even like I have my own community now, but when I started, I bought a guide. Like it was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you could probably I tell these people all the time, you can figure this out on your own. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do, but the guides and stuff like that, they just expedite this. And there's a lot of people that are just trying to figure this out, right? Like quote unquote, right? And so I think getting a guide like that, and it sounds like I need to check it out. Actually, I need to, I've got people in my community that are more visual, that would rather like read than watch a video too.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to have like the email template stuff is something that is super important that I'm always in need of. And so, if you're a new beginner and you're looking to kind of ramp, I definitely recommend getting on board with a guide like this, like Leon's, and then that way. And then also just if you're at the very least, give him a follow because I've been following you for a while, man. You put out some good stuff. And I like that you don't gatekeep, dude. There's a lot of people that are like, here's the top 3 things. Here's number 1. Here's number 2. To see number 3, you got to buy my guide. You're like, dude, don't give me 75% of the pie. Like I need the rest of that,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like you said, Nate, I never used the guide, but it took me a long way around to understand what UGC was. I wish looking back now I'd have bought the guide because I'd have got started a lot quicker.
Yeah. Well, and I think it like also, at least for me, spending a little bit of money, like these guides are not $500, right? I mean, maybe there are some out there. I shouldn't say that, right? But if you spend a little money, it motivates you to begin, right? Like it's like I'm gonna eat healthy, okay. But then once you spend money on a healthy food subscription, then you're like, okay, I already spent the money. Now I have to eat healthy.
Yeah. Exactly that. Yeah.
And so I
exactly.
think it drives action a little bit. So, all right, I'm going to list your socials and your guide in the show notes. So if you guys are new, click on the show notes. They're there. Follow Leon, Socially Leon across all platforms as well. Super appreciate you, man. Thanks for being on. I'm sure we'll run into each other at some point. And next time I'm in your neck of the woods, I think we're going to be there next summer, actually. We'll have to, I'll grab you a beer. It'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cheers, Nate. I appreciate you having me on.
Okay. All right, man. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Cheers. You too. Bye-bye.